Hi everyone, this is daveac and this is my vblog 186 for Friday the 10th of February 2012, but I'm actually recording it one day late on Saturday the 11th of February because I've had a bit of a slight crisis here in the household, and I will tell you that it's connected to the water supply. My water is turned off, therefore my heating is turned off, therefore I've got two jumpers. But I'm going to turn it all into my advantage, because if the water's turned off, I'm going to compensate by having double the wine. Yes, I've got two wines, white wines at that, to test on today's show, and they are the Small and Small that I tested on the Big and Fruity podcast I did on Tuesday. More about that in a moment. And then this French Sauvignon Blanc that I opened yesterday. So let's talk about things before we get onto the wine. But remember, this week most of the show will be about wine, so if you only want to check out the first few minutes, thank you for doing so. You may not be interested in the last 8 minutes of the vblog. Okay, start with usual, the Cult and Collective. The Cult and Collective podcast, of course, meets every Sunday on TalkShoe ID 54821, and last Sunday was no different. That was Sunday the 5th of February, and we had episode 136, and we talked about great stunts in TV and film, and we talked about the great stunt artists, and we also talked about actors that do their own stunts. And the show went for 2 hours and 20 minutes, so we really had a good show. And of course that does include about a 15-minute report from Tim, on the SFX Weekender that he'd just come back from. So there's some news, Tim's report, and then virtually 2 hours talking about great stunts in TV and film. Also, with the commentary, the latest commentary has gone up. That didn't go up until Friday. That was our Life on Mars series, series 2 of Mars on Life on Mars. This is the UK Life on Mars, and we did our commentary on episode 4. I say we, that's Ian the Sixth Doctor, Mike Randall Thor, and myself, Dave AC. That's up on our TalkShoe feeds. It's up on iTunes. The commentary itself is up on, well, it should be up on Zarband.com by now. Now, this coming Sunday, that will be the 12th of February, we're doing about the upcoming Oscars. We've got the BAFTAs here in the UK, but in America we're getting near to Oscar season. So we'll be talking about Cultum's Oscar picks for 2012, what we think merit it, what we'd like to see win, and so on. So I hope you can try and join us, or if not, listen to us from one of those download places later. And I'm just going to tell you about something that's a week on Sunday. Don't normally do that, but I just want to give a heads up to it, and that is we're having a science episode. Yes, one of our members, Kerry G, who works in, I suppose you could call it astrophysics, astronomy and astrophysics, but about planets, stars, and galaxies and so on. He's offered to do and answer questions we put to him on that field of science. So it's to boldly go in science. So if you are on Facebook and you join our Cult Collective Facebook page, you can put some questions there. I've already put up some of the questions I'll be hoping to put to Perry on the Sunday. So that's Sunday the 19th of February at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 7 p.m. here in the UK on TalkShoe ID 54821. Okay, that's all the podcasting news. No Doctor Who news from me today. Just a couple of bits of news and a bit of tech news, and then we're going to spend the bulk of the 15 minutes, hopefully, on these wines. Just to say here in the UK, Being Human, the latest series of Being Human has just started. I'm not going to make any spoiler comments about it, other than to say that do expect that there are fairly big cast changes this series, but that's been well publicised. I have given the first one a go, and I think I'm going to stick with it and see how it runs. One of the things I talked about on this vlog before, I was hoping to have some Raspberry Pi with my wine, but I'm not, because I've just been reading that little computer that's been brought out as a little thing for younger people to learn how computers work a little bit, a little $25 to $35 device. It looks as though it's not going to be on sale generally until maybe September of this year, even though they're having a small production run about now. So a bit disappointed about that, because at that sort of price it looked very interesting as a little hobbyist type computer to have a play around with. Two sciencey things, and then we'll go to the wine. One is to say that the European Vega rocket should go on its first launch from French Guiana on Monday. This is a new rocket that Europe are using to launch smaller satellites. Indeed, it can launch multiple satellites in one launch, and the actual test proving flight, they're going to actually be taking up 9 satellites. So that'll be for things like communication satellites and for sat-nav type things. So that is really great. Every success to that. And one other sort of spacey thing, and I think I've mentioned this before, that this rare Martian meteorite, this 1 kilogram meteorite, has been handed over to the Natural History Museum, and they're hoping to discover a little bit more about the chemical analysis of Martian rocks and see if there's any water in it, because luckily this one was picked up in almost pristine condition shortly after it had landed. So they're hoping to learn an awful lot from that. Really interested in that. Okay, gosh, this is 17 minutes, I can't believe it. So, wine. If you're not interested in wine, thank you for watching so far. Well, the 2 wines, the wine I'm going to drink second is the wine I was drinking on Tuesday's Big and Fruity. I'm just going to show you that. I'll talk about it in a minute. The Small and Small Marlborough Sauvignon Blanc, and 30% by volume. Oh, and it's named after their baby, daughter Sylvia, who actually, 11th of February, because it's Saturday, I told you, is actually 1 year old today. So happy birthday to Sylvia. But before that, that was a freebie I got off Naked Wines. But this was one of the wines I actually bought for Christmas, never got round to drinking. And it seems to be having difficulty there. It's focused now. Petit Villevoix, I think that's pronounced. And on the back, freeze frame it. This is 12%, and this is the one I'm going to taste first. They've both been in the fridge. The Small and Small has been open since Tuesday, but in the fridge that should be fine. But I'm going to be tasting this one first, and let's have a smell. Oh, and we've got immediately gooseberries coming out of this one, and a slight, what else have we got? I'm not going to say paraffin, but a sort of a slight, almost slight alcoholic smell. I know that sounds daft with wine, but here we go. Ooh, slightly tart. I'm getting kiwi fruit. I'm getting grapefruit. What else am I getting? Well, I'm getting a slight minerally edge to it. That is very, very nice. I found in the past, and when I don't drink a lot of white wines, they can sometimes have a slightly unpleasant smell, even though they taste nice. But that actually is rather nice. It was £8.50 from Naked Wines, from the Loire Valley in France, of course, and it is, as I said, 12%. And what's that in there? It's about $14, and it is very, very drinkable. Very nice indeed. Trying to see if I get anything else out of it. No, it's on that sort of gooseberry, grapefruity, slightly mineral edge, slightly sharper. Well, actually, I know it's sharper than the other one because, of course, I opened that one on Tuesday. In fact, I would be very pleased for this wine, except that I know I like the other wine better. Yes, this is the Small and Small that I drank on my Big and Fruity wine podcast that I do every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 10 p.m. here in the UK on TalkShoe ID 112272. Done about 24 episodes of those, and I was blown away with this wine when I first tasted it. So let's have a little smell. Oh, and immediately we're getting a much fruitier, sort of tropical kiwi. Definitely much more tropical edge, where that's more of a sort of a slightly acidic edge to it. Let's have a taste. That brings a smile to my face. There's definitely the grapefruit there, but it's almost like the, is it like the blood red grapefruit you sometimes get? There's definitely kiwi fruit, and there's definitely, I'm not too sure about passion fruit, but it's more on that tropical line of taste. Now, what I'm going to do is refer to my Wine on Earth information sheet about key white grapes, and I'm going to read what it says about Sauvignon Blanc. Gooseberry, elderflower, citrus, tropical fruit, cut grass, grapefruit, green pepper, passion fruit, gunflint. Now that doesn't mean you're supposed to get all of those. They will vary either towards the tropical fruit or towards the citrus, towards the gooseberry or towards the sort of green pepper. It says here about the French wine standard are the typical Sauvignon Blanc from France, more restrained in fruit flavour, gooseberry, crisper acidity. Well, that is spot on for that wine that I'm drinking. And it also has for New Zealand as well here at the top. New Zealand, pungent aromas of tropical fruit and green pepper. That's exactly what I was getting. So it's amazing, isn't it? I've had 2 or 3 white wines over Christmas. A couple more have gone, but these are by far the nicest white wines I've drunk for a long time. Looking forward to going next month to the Virgin Wine tasting in Manchester. Now, normally I sort of walk by all the white wines so I can test as many reds as I can. But I've got a feeling actually this year I'm going to, certainly the Sauvignon Blanc grape varietals, I'm going to go in for and try a bit more. So there you are, Dave AC. No water, but 2 wines. How good is that? See, it's not such a disaster after all. I didn't really tell you much about it. Basically, I was taking a shower on Friday. The shower would not turn off. It was water spouting everywhere. And after turning it down to pour out cold, so that the boiler would shut down, I had to turn the water off. Which means, of course, I've got no heating, no central heating, got a fire on there, I've got a little, sort of one of those sort of glowy fires behind me, but I had to switch it off while I did this vblog, halogen heater it is. So, luckily, I think I went out today, I'm hoping that I've got a part sourced to collect on Monday, but if it's not the right one, or if they can't get it, then I have to buy a whole new shower head unit. Cost 130 quid, nearly $200. So fingers crossed for Monday. Well, I'm going to stop there. We're under the 15 minutes. I've had no water, but 2 very tasty wines. Let's hold them up together. There we are. There we are. And I can't even hold them straight because it's mirror image. That's me done for vblog 186. Thanks ever so much for watching, and catch you, hopefully we'll be back to normal on Monday. Bye all.